Welcome to The Young and the Restless. I'm Olivia.
I'm Victor.
And I'm Zach. And this is the podcast where no matter how sexy the cornbread is, leave it alone.
Now I lay me down to sleep. I dreamt I had a soul to keep. And if I die before I wake, will that dream just go on for its own sake?
So were your dreams of them before you had met them accurate to what they look like?
I mean, as accurate as any dreams are, right? I feel like a lot of the time, even when it's like Victor, who I look at every day, all the time, you don't always look like you. Sometimes my brain won't get it perfectly right. Or sometimes you'll just turn into a dog and still be you.
There's a dog that goes by our place all the time, and Olivia's like, that's you.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
you if you were a dog.
It's just got Victor vibes.
It's an Airedale Terrier. Look it up. It's totally got Victor vibes.
But that's interesting. I actually hadn't thought about, because now that I'm thinking about it, there are certain people that are like that in my dreams where I never get them quite right. And, an Airedale Terrier.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are other people that are it's always spot on.
Yeah, I have that too.
And it doesn't seem to be correlated with, because I'm thinking of somebody that I hardly ever see, but when she's in my dreams, it's spot on. And then, yeah, like someone you see every day, like Victor's, will be not quite right. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder what that's related to, because I think, Victor, you're somebody who like looks different in dreams. But like maybe that means something, though. Maybe it's because those other things might actually have more symbolism. Like the other ways that you appear, or like the differences in your face maybe mean something.
And your brain's doing less work to recreate that person, because it's like, we know, yeah, it's Victor. We know Victor.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's like you could be a dog or a daisy or a potato, and it just doesn't matter, because
I
know you by your heart.
The heart of an Airedale Terrier.
Right? Does that look like him?
I mean, kind of. Yeah, I guess. If he was a dog.
Well, that's what it is if he were a dog.
As a man, though, Victor, you look nothing like an Airedale Terrier.
Thank you. That's what I've tried to tell her over and over. It is interesting how, like, when you hear about somebody or a place or whatever, your brain, like, will conjure up a thing to fill that space. And it's usually, like, way off base of what that person or place actually looks like. But you can't help but, like, try and conjure it up.
Yeah. No, I really feel that. Like, anytime I'm going over to so-and-so's house for the first time. I've never been there. And I've got, like, I'll get there and I'll be like, not what I was expecting. Like, why was I expecting anything?
Yeah.
This isn't underwater.
It's like, oh, it really had like dark, dingy vibes in my brain for some reason. I don't know. Like, you have to conjure up something, because I wonder if that's the same for people who don't have like as much visual imagination.
Yeah, because I was sitting here thinking about it. Like the example I thought of like somebody that I hardly ever see. And I haven't had a dream about this person in a long time, but I wonder if it has to do with like putting a lot of subconscious importance on getting their face right. And then that's why I remember it more vividly, because my brain did all this work to be like, look at this face. This is it, right? You know what I mean? As opposed to somebody who you see all the time. It might just throw an image up of them because it's like close enough. You know.
Yeah, you get
what they
it.
actually look like. You get the idea.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Just a theory.
And then there's like when somebody merges with somebody else in a way that really means something.
Yeah, didn't you have one of those recently?
You've had dreams where like, I am your ex, or your ex is me, or something like that.
I guess we'll go there. Yeah, I have dreams sometimes where like Victor and my ex will be like merged into one thing. And I think what this is about, I think it's like pointing to something that is unresolved from that past relationship, like something that I have maybe carried with me that was really like alive and apparent in that relationship that like Victor doesn't necessarily trigger, but it's like something that I haven't like properly worked through, I guess.
Right. I think that's what the dream was in the episode I'm editing right now, right? That with the game where I'm trying to guess the dream you already figured out.
Oh, yeah, that was. And that's not the ex that it usually, that Victor usually is. That's a different ex.
Oh, weird.
And I'm not always an ex.
No,
all right,
he's usually
listener?
himself.
Usually I'm me. It's just sometimes there's
and
an
you're
ex.
usually so helpful.
Sometimes a dog.
Right.
No, only in real life.
Only in real life. Now that we are released, it's like, or now that we've put the show out there, I'm getting so lost in the sauce about like, is this one that just went out? Is this one that was recorded and got scrapped? Is this one that I'm currently editing?
Yeah,
You know,
the one you're
when we talk
referencing
about-
right now will probably have come out like a month ago.
Oh,
It's going to be
at
episode
least.
6. Yeah.
Yeah, or like I want to reference like something that happened in like episode 3 because that's what we've been listening to recently, or like the dream with your mom. That's like, it feels very current to me because I've just been listening to it.
Yeah, I think the timeline will smooth itself out, but
I
right now
hope
it's
so.
confusing.
Yeah, but no,
So it's
like
also-
your mom had a dream about Todd.
The pony dream.
Yeah, right. The dream where Todd like kind of was taking on sign guy characteristics or whatever. It's the same kind of thing, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's about relationships or like your relationship with relationships
Mm-hmm.
more so than like whatever body is filling that space.
Yeah. I was thinking about the continuity earlier of like, because I think last time we recorded, I referenced that I'm dating somebody, or it came up. And then I realized, like the first few episodes, at least, I spent talking about how I'm not ready to date anyone. And I just want to get my shit together. And I was like, oh shit, that's going to seem like a hairpin turn. And I was like, oh wait, no, there are a ton more that need to be released before.
I think
'Cause
we
I-
need to make an announcement. This
I
is your
had a dream-
announcement.
I had a dream like 2 episodes ago that we couldn't fucking figure out.
Mm-hmm.
The one about the like monsters on the hills.
Yeah.
Mm.
It was, I guess I'm just retroactively going to fill in the like storyline. Feels so like self-important to act like this is
You wrote a
like a-
script.
like a narrative podcast, you know, and like people are hanging on they're like the edge of their seats waiting for but I don't know. That's the parasocial relationship I have with my podcast that I listen to. But anyway, we couldn't figure out that dream. And then I realized off air, I think it was about me because I was going to see my friend Shelby that weekend. And I thought potentially something could happen. And I think I was processing like worst case scenario stuff or like toxic traits that I used to have that I was worried about like bringing into the mix. But anyway, things did happen and now we're dating and it's going really great.
Yeah, you were all worried about bringing those toxic traits into a new relationship, and now you have, and it feels great. You remember why you were so toxic to begin with. You love it. Love being
she's
toxic.
stuck. She just has to deal with it now.
Mhm. You got one.
I got one. all the like I just want to be single stuff was just like a cover up for the fact that I was failing to entrap a woman. But I'm sure that like it's just because those episodes just dropped and they're our first episodes that I'm like
Mhm.
hearing myself be like not stubbornly single but like decisively single.
Mm-hmm.
And there must be curious to listen to our own show to see if that like dissolves or like softens or I don't really
Yeah.
remember because it did. Obviously, I was talking to Shelby for like months before she came here. We were talking like super regularly, which is why I was thinking something. It was going somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see like the trends in our dreams because like my dreams have certainly had some trends, and like I feel like there's been a shift in them recently, and into some other fucking problem that I have to sort out within myself. So, yeah.
Yeah. Originally, I was thinking like, oh, it's about dreams. It can be as disjointed as it wants to be, but dreams are about you though, so they're like
Yeah, it's like not
continuity.
disjointed at all. I don't know. I feel the need to like warn people, like if they're gonna submit a dream, that it's like, no, this isn't fun though. Okay, like, yeah, you had like a really wacky, crazy dream, and it was super like silly, haha. No, we're gonna talk about you. It's serious.
And we're mean. We're mean
We're
to people.
cruel and we're judgmental. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, on that note, somebody last night when we went to meet with some friends, somebody who had sent me a dream a while ago that we didn't end up doing for whatever reason. He listened to the podcast and he was like, yeah, so like I just want to check with you, like you wouldn't just like talk about me like that. And listeners, I just want to like let you know that we have full permission from anyone that we're talking about on this podcast. We have full permission to talk about the things we discuss. We use pseudonyms. And yeah, if you do submit a dream, we're not just going to hypothesize about your deepest, darkest secrets and blast them out to everyone.
Except for that guy. Fuck that guy. We're going to talk about him the rest of the episode.
Fuck that guy. Wait, which guy?
The guy that was like, hey, you're not just going to talk about
yeah,
me.
fuck that guy. That's his pseudonym. That guy.
That guy. Are we going to do his dream?
No, not right now. It's too old. I don't know what was going on in his life. And it sounds like he doesn't want me to talk about it. So,
yeah. You know, there's a process. Like we got to get information from people and their feelings and stuff. And I think it becomes pretty clear the nature of like what's going to go out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before it happens.
For sure.
And also before anything had ever aired, it was just a nebulous idea. Now people can know what they're getting into.
That's the thing is like, He was like, that's fun. Here's a wacky Harry Potter dream. And it's, you know, probably about something that he doesn't want us to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Where do your dreams come from? And what do they really mean? What do they
So what are we going to get into today?
Do you have anything?
Kind of. I don't think it's a whole segment.
I've liked when we do like one about an existential crisis and then one that's about like a floppy rubber butt.
What about you, Liv? What are you bringing to the table today?
I mean, I'll be the existential crisis if you want. Okay, so this dream happened last week and it was pretty simple. I was on a beach and there was a black horse and a white horse. And the black horse was fucking the white horse.
Nice.
I think the black horse was my horse and the white horse belonged to someone else. And I was talking to this other person and she was like, let me think, what did she say? Oh, we were talking about if we should separate them. And like at some point I was like trying to put up a fence and then I think I didn't because it didn't make sense. The beach was like where they lived, though. I remember it was like these two horses lived on this beach and it was kind of a private, like you had to go down a cliff to get to it. So it was kind of secluded and like the bluffs sort of made an enclosure in a sense because they were on this little crescent shaped beach between the water and the cliff. And so they were kind of enclosed and they were just, going at it.
All right. Horny ass beach horses.
Write that down. Horny ass beach horses.
So what are the symbols you think? White horse, black horse, beach?
That's what I think.
Yeah. And then fucking if we need to.
I think that horses are already a horny Dream Bible entry. There's already a white horse and a black horse entry in the Dream Bible.
There is?
Mm-hmm.
We'll get around to it. So I've got beach, horses, white, and black. So
as just generic color entries or colors of the horses?
I feel like you should look at the horse entry because it has like specific things for white horse and black horse, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I've just got them here if we need them. Just queued up.
We don't need them. Okay.
All right. No, let me close them. They're off limits now. We're definitely not going to read those now.
Keep it up just in case.
I don't know.
You do this every day, Victor?
Yeah, daily. All right, to dream of the beach represents a time in your life.
Sorry, that actually is a bit that we do.
You
It's
just like
stupid.
pretend to fight.
Yeah, because, sometimes you need.
Gotta spice things up a little bit.
Yeah, if you're too happy.
Mocking people who are fighting.
All right. To dream of the beach represents a time in your life when you are confronting negativity or facing uncertainty. It may also represent a transition from a familiar setting to an unfamiliar one, confronting a current difficulty, confronting a hard reality after first believing you wouldn't have to. Negatively, dreaming of the beach may be a sign that you are confronting a serious crisis moment in your life, possibly a sign that you are not doing enough to take a serious problem or crisis seriously enough. Example, a man dreamed of standing on a beach facing the water. In real life, he was experiencing a health crisis and almost died. Example 2, a man dreamed of seeing a beach. In waking life, he was facing the most serious crisis of life, which required him to stay away for 4 days straight with no food or water to survive it.
What?
I don't
know. Yeah,
It's crazy
Bible's
about-
weird sometimes.
What's crazy about those examples to me is that they seem so random and made up before we learned that Dream Bible is based on like extensive surveys.
Right?
Yeah.
So those are
which is why
those are
when they're
actual
like,
those are actual stories.
yeah, which is why when they're like, to dream of spaghetti in a toilet, it's like, all right, enough people submitted dreams about this, I guess.
Wait, okay. There's an oddly elaborate example 3 that has a second paragraph that begins oddly enough. So I'm gonna read that.
Yeah, let's hear that.
Example 3. A woman dreamed of being at the beach and loving it. In waking life, she finally decided to have an affair with a man she had been talking to for a while. The enjoyable beach setting may have reflected her awareness of herself going through with the affair while she knew it was wrong. Confronting the uncertainty of risking her current relationship by enjoying herself cheating with another man. Oddly enough, the man whom the woman had the affair with had the same beach dream as her on the same night. This would make sense because as they were both confronting the uncertain prospect of being caught cheating, the beach scene in both their cases reflected the confrontation with emotional risk of the knowing that they were acting out of their adulterous fantasies.
Tandem dreaming.
Oh, the Chi-E had the dream too.
Yeah, her and
Or
the guy
the
she was cheating with. Yeah,
Not
they
not
had the
that.
same dream. Yeah, it's like you and I having work stress dreams on the same night because we're having work stress.
Okay, so to recap, dreaming of a beach is confronting negativity and uncertainty, transition, and confrontation.
Okay. Ringing any bells yet, Olivia? You said this was last week?
Yeah. No, let's hear horses.
I thought about neighing right there.
Can you do it at some point?
No.
No!
Just because you said, let's hear horses. Never mind. Let's move on.
To dream of a horse represents ambition and strong drives, stamina, endurance, or your capacity for hard work. Horses can also represent your sexual drive and libido. Horses often appear in dreams of people who work very hard, students that are very driven, people with very strong sexual interests, or anyone who is very motivated, pushing ahead hard for your goals. Negatively, a horse in a dream may be a sign that you are taking too many risks with your ambition to succeed, hurting others in your drive to get ahead, sexual interests that are excessive, a warning that you need to slow down. A white horse symbolizes ambition or a drive to succeed based on good intentions, self-control, and balanced views as you pursue a goal. A white horse can also reflect an ambitious drive to be perfect at something. Alternatively, a white horse may also reflect a healthy sex drive with your spouse. A black horse is a sign that you may be too obsessed with achieving a goal. A black horse can also reflect a fear of your enemy's ambitious drive to be more successful than you. Alternatively, a black horse may be a sign that you are too sexually driven or have an unhealthy sex life.
Okay, so my unhealthy ambition is fucking my healthy ambition
That's what I heard.
in a place of uncertainty, in a time of crisis.
Uncertainty
with
or crisis. It doesn't. I think it doesn't have to be a crisis. Time in your life when you're confronting. Oh yeah, when you're confronting negativity or facing uncertainty, it may also represent a transition from a familiar setting to an unfamiliar one.
Okay, uncertainty. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, but so like the white and the black horse are like the opposites of the same thing.
Yeah, they're both drives, but one's healthy and one's unhealthy.
One was just getting dominated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your healthy impulses are just getting pounded away at. Yeah.
I don't know. My first thing is like, is this a work career ambition dream? Because
that was my thought.
Yeah, I feel like the sexual stuff doesn't quite track.
Yeah, well, I couldn't know what's going on there, but I do know you got a new job. I don't know if you said that on the podcast yet, but you literally just got hired, right?
Yeah, and I think that was up in the air last week. No, I think I had maybe just, it's hard to say. I think I was like pretty sure that I had it at that point. But I think my biggest concern with it is like really normal feelings about starting a new job, which is that you just don't know what it's going to be like. Right. And like, yeah, I think that that's probably more about uncertainty than anything. I don't know if I think we talked about this in the tandem dreaming episode where it's like, if you've had jobs that had, big negatives to them, or like your boss was weird or whatever the situation was, like going into a new thing it can be kind of daunting just because you're not sure if it's going to be like that again. And I don't think that this job is, but yeah, I think probably a little anxious about that. I will say though, like this particular interview process, like, I don't know, like I felt really relaxed about everything. I was not like stressing about the interviews. Everyone was super nice. It was very chill. And like,
which if you're traumatized can be a red flag to you. Right. You're like, this is too easy.
Right.
Work is supposed to be hell. How is this not? Yeah.
No, I think I said that. Yeah. I think that was another thing I said in that episode way back when, which is that like when everything's right, that can register as a red flag just because. But at that point, isn't everything a red flag? Just jobs in general.
Does that ring true for you? That it's a work thing or like a new job thing?
Let's explore the other options there, I guess, because unhealthy ambition overpowering the healthy ambition I don't know what that means.
And you were distressed, right? You didn't want the horses to be mating.
No,
and you were
it was
trying to
fine. They
stop
were
them.
supposed to be fucking.
Wait, I thought you were trying to separate them.
Yeah, at one point I was trying to but it was more like should we put up a fence? Like, it was not like, we need to get these horses off of each other. It was like, all right, now that they're done fucking, do you think we should separate them for the night?
Oh, okay. Huh.
It wasn't like, yeah, I think there was like an intention for them to like breed or something.
Well, so that's a whole other meaning, right? Because that's not one dominating the other. That's like encouraging a merger between these things.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that until just now. I kind of want to look at what I wrote down about this and see if that is correct, because
you made it sound like you even started to build a fence and then you gave up or whatever because the other lady talked you into it, that it would be okay.
I can't remember why I stopped putting the fence up. It felt like maybe it was like not going to work, or like that it wasn't actually going to be an effective thing or accomplish anything. But I remember not being alarmed by the horse fucking.
And this other person was also not alarmed.
Yeah, we were just kind of watching.
Like a couple of weirdos.
Yeah. Like a couple of Enumclaw.
There it is.
Folks. That's a Washington joke for y'all.
Yeah.
Don't look it up. Anyway.
What was it?
I didn't even hear you. To the pod to find out.
God damn it.
You're going to have to submit that as an Apple Podcast review. Maybe we'll address it on the show.
Okay, no. All I wrote is white horse and black stallion on the beach. The beach is where they live. They breed.
They breed.
Yeah, I just wrote, they breed, deciding to put up a divider. But if I remember correctly, we were not concerned about the breeding, and that was perhaps the intention of them being there.
That was not the intention, but it was like...
I think it was the intention.
Oh, I misheard you.
The intention, I'm sorry.
They were supposed to be fucking
They
the
were
horses.
supposed to be fucking. Are they trying to breed? Is that
That's
the
what
idea?
fucking's for. It's procreation.
Well, that's narrow-minded.
I don't think horses fuck for fun.
I think it's probably fun for them, though.
It's probably kind of fun. No, probably maybe for one of them.
Do you think that the horses are fucking thinking like, this is so we make another horse? This is all about that little horse, baby.
I mean, to the breeders, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that they don't even let them actually fuck because they have like rocks for fists. They're like big danger beasts, and so they just used a turkey baster.
Rocks for fists?
Yeah, they've got like their hooves. I feel like they could just hurt each other. I don't know. I could be wrong. I feel like they could really easily hurt each other by like.
I thought
going
this
at
was
it too
supposed to be
hard.
a horse cock. And you're like, I thought you just like Freudian slipped and said fist instead of penis. I was like, Jesus. Like, I'm sorry. I'm looking for paper because I had an idea for an app just now. And
Go
it's
on.
like-
Does the
it's
horse
honestly
fucking
good.
inspire you?
No, I'm not going to tell you. I don't want anyone to steal this idea. So I
Zach.
think it's legitimately a good idea. I'll tell you off air.
Okay, tell us
all
how
right,
there.
all right.
Okay,
Maybe we
so-
can collaborate because I don't know how to code.
Okay. Hey, there you go. New project.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so there was sex in the dream. It was about procreation. Major theme of the dream is sex and procreation, right? Like a thing in our personal lives is that we go back and forth on like whether we want to have a kid or not, right? So there could be a connection there of conflicting impulses, part of you wanting to, take that on, and part of you wanting to keep the life that we have and not, radically change it.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
That is a theme in my dreams, isn't it? I
Yeah.
feel like I
Didn't
need
one
to
of
look-
those dreams involve a horse too? Dream about like a tree and
Yeah.
a horse.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, you work with horses though, so is it possible you're like processing your work day?
No, I don't think so.
Horses are never about horses, Zach.
Poop is not about poop. Sex is not about poop. But sex is about horses.
Sex is about procreating. We've established that.
Horses are about sex. Well, so then does that mean that the horses are about sex? Because if the horses are about sex, according to Dream Bible, that would mean that so the black horse is too sexually driven or have an unhealthy sex life, and the white horse is a healthy sex drive with your spouse.
You guys are married.
Yeah. Do you think there's something there?
I don't know. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
What would make sense to me if, hypothetically work stuff was like getting in the way of that. Like, I don't know. Sometimes people like their sex drive takes a dip when they're stressed about work or something, which would make, just hypothetically like analyzing this dream for any random person. That would be like maybe where I started with the black horse topping the white horse.
Yeah, no, I think we're like totally good in that department.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
We fuck all the time.
Dude's wet right now, bro.
We're fucking right now.
They're good at it, listeners. Now you guys have always had the like chill, relaxed vibe of a couple that doesn't have any issues in that department.
Yeah, so that means this is probably about work, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's probably either about work or having a kid, right? Or, you know, we were talking.
Talk more about that. What's the connection that you're seeing there?
Well, something that we've talked about, like an anxiety you've expressed. I mean, bringing it back to sex is like one of the things we've thought about when it's like whether we should start a family or not, you know, is like, well, is this going to ruin our sex life?
That's true. It's like it's a high on the priority list.
Yeah. So I don't know how to tie that into the symbolism of the two specific horses yet, but that does fit the narrative of you turning to the woman on the beach being like, should we separate them? And she's like, no, it's supposed to, you know, it's supposed to happen like this. You know what I mean? Like that could be like, you know, it's very normal. It's considered very normal societally and historically to start a family.
A couple of weeks ago, we had a conversation around this job or like thinking about starting this job where I think you were feeling anxious that like a new job or like changes in patterns would like possibly negatively affect our relationship, right? Like I remember you were stressed out about that like a couple of weeks ago when we had a conversation about it.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm worried about though. Like that hasn't historically been the case. Something I'm reading here in the horse entry. A dream of a horse represents ambition and strong drives. So like not necessarily just a sex drive, but like the drive to procreate. That's a drive, right?
Yeah. No, that's a drive. And then the work thing is also a drive, and just anything about like wanting to control your life. Sorry.
It drives the species, that drive, you know.
Does any of this resonate with you? Because something that works for us when we're doing this is we just kind of throw stuff at a wall, and then the dreamer will sometimes say like, yeah, that clicks, right? So does any of this click?
No.
All right. Then it's not about any of this shit.
Let's
We're just talking, just flapping our lips, talking about our sex life for no goddamn reason.
For edutainment. Yeah, Olivia's always looking for the high of that like epiphany moment.
I need it. Yeah,
it's like I feel I
have a problem.
I have way more where I'm like, yeah, I guess so. That's probably it.
Something we've been talking about recently is you feel like you're kind of you're coming up on like a level of self-awareness about stuff that's still just out of reach, where like you kind of, there's like some stuff where it's like I can see that I have like work to do there, or there's like a breakthrough waiting for me over there.
Yes.
But I can't, because I'm not through it, I can't see it.
Yeah.
And so because you've kind of been processing that lately, because there's something you're working through, it makes a lot of sense to me that you're having more dreams that we can't figure out.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. That has been the case for like several dreams recently, where I mean, it's cool to talk about them because I feel like later down the road, when I have done that work and like figured out some stuff, I guess, like I'll look back and be like, oh, the fucking horses.
Right.
That was about I don't know. My dad, probably.
I'm trying to remember the name of that cognitive bias. It's the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's like the Dunning-Kruger effect. Like the more you know, the more you realize how much you don't know.
Yeah, but there's a little bit in the beginning there where you know a tiny amount.
You know enough.
Yeah, and you think you know everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
which is probably where we're at.
Oh, I think that's where
man, I thought I was already there like 10 years ago.
No, I think that's where we are all at with dream interpretation, where like we've had a couple lucky hits, and so we're like, we are masters of this domain. We should be able to interpret every dream, but we're just a couple of assholes.
Yeah, this shit's easy.
Just a couple of assholes.
Knocking them out of the park.
I'll tell you. So at our old job, there was a lot of kind of like woo-woo podcasts that we would produce. One of them was a dream interpretation show that was like Bible-y dream interpretation. That seems to be pretty common in this space. But one time I was talking to the host of this show, and like I dream a lot and I think about my dreams, and I said something to him like, yeah, it's kind of cool when you start paying attention, like anyone can kind of interpret their own dreams. And he was so offended. Or at least he was really nice about it. But like I could tell that hurt him because I think he went to school for dream interpretation.
Where? Like Naropa in Boulder?
Somewhere in Canada.
Oh, that's right. There's a huge woo community in British Columbia.
Yeah. He was like, yeah, not really. He thinks.
Guess he was right.
Yeah, but didn't he bring everything back to Jesus?
Yes, that's the thing is like all of my dreams were apparently about Jesus. And
I don't think all your dreams are about Jesus.
I think I can interpret my dreams better than him.
Well, I think the dreamer is the best person for the job. You know what I mean? There's also the possibility that like Dream Bible doesn't, have everything. Like maybe we get too hung up on what it has to say sometimes.
Dream Bible is my religion.
Yeah, I won't have you.
My life by this book. And
Don't you dare besmirch the good name of Dream Bible.
It is funny how when we started this, like in like early pre-production phases, we were like, yeah, we'll use a variety of resources and we'll try a bunch of different approaches. And then we found
have
this
books sitting on the desk right here.
Yeah, that I haven't touched in a year because Dream Bible is so good.
It is kind of like mirrors our approach to this. You know what I mean? Like it's grounded in like research and surveys.
Yeah, that's
but
the thing.
it leaves room for like magic.
Leaves a little room for googly-eyed sheep and spaghetti and toilets.
Okay, let's see. Maybe one of these books has the answer. We've got the Dream Dictionary from A to Z. We've got the A to Z Dream Dictionary. And we've got the Bible-based Dictionary of Prophetic Symbols. Which one should we crack open for horses?
What does the big man have to say?
Who's the big man? God? Or me?
You're the big man.
Yeah, you're the big man.
Sorry, I was... I muted myself on Google Hangouts because I had to fart. And now I'm like sitting here thinking like, what if I forget to edit that fart out because it still made it to my recording? And so now I have to say something for the editor. Please take that out. And then I realized...
Can we leave in your voice?
We'll see. But then I realized I had to say something because I didn't actually hear you list any of those books because I was so concerned about farting.
Well, it's too late now.
Did I lose my big man status?
Yeah.
Damn it.
All right. So according to the Bible-based Dictionary of Prophetic Symbols, a horse of great strength, powerful in warfare, powerful spirit of tenacious, not double-minded, a ministry that is powerful and capable of competing, strength under control, such as meekness, God's judgment. And then under symbolic actions, we've got horse that kicks, black is lack, okay, and white is purity or righteousness. So, do you guys get anything out of that? I kind of blacked out while I was talking.
That's
The first part was kind of similar to the Dream Bible, just kind of like framed a little bit different, but kind of a similar idea.
Yeah, drive.
I don't think people understand horses. Horses are lazy pieces of shit that are scared of most things.
Well, so
They're strong, but they are terrified of like the leaf blowing across the fucking ground.
So then do we believe that like it's the cultural perception of horses that you like, that seeps into your subconscious that dictates the meaning? Or does it you as a horse girl and your experiences
Don't call me
inform?
that.
You as our resident horse girl.
I'm leaving this podcast.
I'm sorry, do you want to be the big man?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like it just if you have experience that contradicts or informs a different experience of the symbol, then maybe familiar to the like common person.
This is true, but we also talked about how like it does seem like we have waking symbology that seems to be cohesive. Like we talked about this in episode 5 where we're talking about the color purple, where it's like we associate purple with royalty, but in dreams apparently it's like a neutrality thing, or like a powerlessness.
Yeah.
And like, so I just wonder if like, even if I have my own waking ideas about what something means, like maybe I'm still, because I don't know where that sleeping symbology comes from, but it's I don't think I have power over it. I think it's like it's coming from somewhere that I don't really have a lot of control over.
Yeah, and I guess we don't get to cherry pick, right? Like if we believe it one time,
that's what I'm saying is
and
that
it solves a dream, then we kind of have to subscribe to all of it, right?
Yeah.
It's all or nothing. Dream Bible or bust.
Right, because once we open that can of worms, it's like we have to question everything. Beach, in the Bible-based Dictionary of Prophetic Symbols, is power or illumination coming from God or the heavenly. A time of exposure or spotlight. Nope, sorry, I'm reading the wrong one. That's a beam. Okay, going back.
That's
okay.
a beam.
Beach. Transitional state between land and water, symbolizes the transition between nature and spirit. Okay, I'm putting the Bible away.
So again, with the transition.
Yeah, I get the sense that this dream is about a time of transition and a time of uncertainty, and I'm not totally sure if it's about
Work.
Yeah, or like there was something in there about health too, wasn't there?
Maybe, yeah.
Health?
I thought maybe in the beach entry or something.
I think there was an example.
Oh, okay.
Stamina, endurance, or your capacity for hard work.
In the beach entry, I thought, but
I think there was an example under beach of a guy that was having a health issue.
Oh yeah, if you're dying, you might dream of beaches.
Well, and that's because I'm dying, and so
I'm gonna miss you.
You guys can do this without me.
But we're not going to. I mean, you can. Do you want to keep doing this, Zach?
Just one
Just you.
lone crazy guy talking about his dreams.
Okay, so according to A to Z Dream Dictionary, a horse in a dream represents endurance, power, and inner strength. You must master the wild energies within you.
You must, Olivia.
Is that doing anything for you?
Horny.
Mm-hmm.
You're just announcing your emotions now?
And then if you dream of a beach, it means you are confronting adversity. It could also represent the transition to a new environment.
Wow, that is kind of cool that like they're all kind of rooted in something.
Yeah.
Dream interpretation, guys. It's a real thing. It's a real
Welcome to the
science.
podcast.
It could also indicate that you're dealing with a huge issue and aren't taking it seriously enough.
That's also in there. That's wow.
Beaches have also been described as the meeting of reasonable and irrational mental processes. That could be something. If your white horse and black horse represent one reasonable and one irrational mental process.
Is that in the horse entry or the beach entry?
That's the beach entry. But you're on a beach and you got these two things that are dealing with each other.
It really reminded me too, like, I don't know if I like consciously thought this in the dream, but like I maybe kind of did, like looking at them. It was very like reminiscent of a yin yang.
Yeah, visually I could see that.
And now we're turning to the Dream Dictionary from A to Z.
I like the cover of this one the best.
Me too.
And that's how I judge books.
And it does, to go back to like patriarchy thing, but like, or the
We're never going back to the patriarchy.
that historical like I don't know, I'm pretty married to it. Yeah, just that like that historical paradigm of like the thing that's on top is dominant or whatever. I was gonna say like I don't think you have to believe in it for it to like seep into your subconscious.
No,
and,
yeah,
like, take
I've got
a hold.
we've all
But
got that internalized.
the more we talk- Right, yeah, internalized. But the more we talk about this, the more I feel like it's not that this time though. It does seem like it's right. I mean, just based on what you said about your feelings, and the more we like correlate the horse on the beach by doing each of these entries, it seems like it's about some kind of merger. Some kind of merger.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really seem to be about power, right? The horses are both powerful.
Yeah.
So I wish the
I think that's
listeners
right.
could see what you just did.
The sign language for merger.
Yeah.
Making a circle with my hand and poking it with the other one. The classic gesture.
Okay. So in the Dream Dictionary from A to Z, the horse entry reads as follows: sea animals, pets.
That's it?
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, this is the shittiest one.
I mean, so let's go to
They say that it
animals.
means, oh, well, okay, so maybe there's a horse in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's like buried in the animal entry.
It's going to be like seahorses.
See, spot run.
It's just an infinite loop sending you between page 13 and page 49.
Wait, I'm in animals. We got dog, donkey, elephant, fox, game animals.
But horses under pets.
Oh, there it is. I see horse. There's horse. It's actually quite long. Studies show that the animals that most often appear in dreams are horses, along with cats and dogs, and women seem to dream of horses more often than men do.
Yeah, horse girls.
Indeed, Artemidorus of Daldus, 2nd century AD, lists horses among the most common dreams of women. Some dream interpreters suggest that horses represent male sexuality. According to Freud, horses symbolize the sexual drive. Jung noted that the horse dreams could often be indicative of health conditions. Horses, like dogs. You got something?
Oh, that's just it. That's interesting. Like, didn't I said it like a minute ago. I was
you
like,
asked about that.
I was like,
Yeah.
wasn't there a health thing in there in the beach entry? And there's not, but it says.
Well,
okay.
there is. I mean, it was saying that dreaming of a beach may be a sign that you are confronting a serious crisis moment in your life, possibly a sign that you are not doing enough to take a serious problem or crisis seriously.
So what did Jung say about horses and health?
It says, according to Freud, horses symbolize the sexual drive. Jung noted that horse dreams could often be indicative of health conditions. Horses, like dogs, represent urges and passions in ourselves that we have learned to harness or direct, and in general, they represent positive things that are about to happen in a dreamer's waking life. Horses suggest the sort of enthusiasm or feelings of well-being that can carry us through the day and through life.
Positive things that are about to happen. Am I gonna have a horse baby?
You might. You been fucking horses?
Have you? All right, let's move on.
Just other Airedale Terrier.
Okay. Horses, like dogs, represent urges and passions in ourselves that we've learned to harness or direct, and in general, they represent positive things that are about to happen in a dreamer's waking life. Horses suggest the sort of enthusiasm or feelings of well-being that can carry us through the day and through life. Having said that, much depends on the context of the dream. For instance, if the dreamer falls off the horse, this may suggest relating badly to urges and passions and the resulting tensions this creates. If the horse is wild, this suggests undirected energy, such as sexual desire, which overrides personal and interpersonal needs. See also pets. So this is the most like unconventional of the interpretation
Yeah.
resources.
Yeah. But I like that our boy Jung was in there. But nothing. Were you just curious about the health thing, or is that like a thread you could pull on?
I'm going to the doctor soon. We'll see.
Wait, really?
I guess like the main, like one of the big things that is a theme in my health is that like I have a lot of joint problems, like just systemically, it seems like. And I have since I was a little kid, like prepubescent, I've had joint pain. And it's like, that's weird, right? It's kind of odd for a kid to experience that. But I was on kind of a trajectory for different specialists for a while, and that somehow there wasn't follow through there. And so I never got like a diagnosis on like what that might be about. But I recently came across something that seems like it might be the thing I have. And so I'm trying now to go get tested for this condition that maybe would explain a lot of the health stuff I've been dealing with.
Is it super serious? Should I be worried?
I'm not going to die. It's just
Okay.
like, yeah, I'll be fine. But I was like, the thing that like made me realize it is kind of, I don't know if I like want to put this part on the podcast, but I'll tell you because it's really weird. But like people with this condition have like super stretchy, like elastic skin.
You got to show them.
And I was like, I
I
don't
don't
have
see.
that. I was like, I don't have that. I probably don't have this condition because I don't have that. For some reason, I just never bothered to like,
Pull on your skin.
yeah, I never bothered to tug on it. And like, it's
Mine's really taut.
well, good. You're fine.
But it grosses me out to like even try. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
But so I gave it a tug and Victor was like, whoa, you got to go to the doctor.
do you think maybe that's
That's possible. That's been on my mind. I'm going to the doctor. So
okay? We can live with a hard maybe.
I feel like if one thing resonated there, it's like, and this is seems to be a theme in all the beach entries, is that it's like the merging of the subconscious, and it's where the subconscious meets the conscious mind, I guess. Like I wasn't paying a lot of attention to the actual water, but I was on the land there, so it's like it does kind of fit in with what we were talking about, how I feel like there's maybe some stuff that I am going to be working through soon that I'm not like conscious enough about to talk about, because I'm not really aware of what that might be for myself.
Maybe it's just about that self-awareness, like just processing the fact that you have processing to do. You know what I mean?
Maybe. So yeah, maybe I just won't bring dreams for a little while.
Cancel the
But
podcast, guys.
Now,
Then how are you going? Yeah, our most prolific dreamer can't throw in the towel.
okay, I'll bring them, but I'm just gonna get mad. I'm gonna say, I don't want to do this anymore. Throw my headphones on the ground.
Nah, we're just going to gradually help you process. We're going to figure out who you're castrating with your womanly ocean. So that was the Freud part. It's just always with the cocks with that guy.
But it was a dream. It was a test. And you. But you shouldn't have been. We lost.
I had like a dream last night that I realized is, and I don't remember a lot of it, but it took place on a bus, and it felt like a city bus, like a not super like cush or anything, but it was going a long distance, and it felt like a field trip. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know the people on the bus, but there was stopping and like getting off and stretching your legs and getting back on, and I looked up. That's basically all I remember. Like, I know it was a long dream, but like, I can't remember any events. I just remember this bus, and I realized that I have bus dreams all the time. Super reoccurring theme.
Yeah, and you told me like you have a reoccurring train dream,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, but the train dreams are kind of fun. They're like whimsical. They're always on like the European countryside.
Was the bus not fun?
No, it feels much more purpose driven, like a field trip or like a commute.
Watch that be the difference between a train and a bus in Dream Bible.
Could be. I do know I looked up bus earlier because I was curious, and it's pretty spot on.
Do you want to read it?
Sure. Yeah, it's a dream of a bus represents a situation in your life that feels unpleasant or unbearable to have to be patient with. A situation that isn't working out the way you wanted it to, or feeling that some area of your life is taking too long. A bus may reflect unwanted disappointments or delays as you move toward your desired goals. Feeling that you have to be patient with the situation you are waiting for. Complaints about how long a goal is taking to complete. So, it's another work dream.
Mm.
I literally just earlier this week got turned down for a dream job that I was interviewing for. So we got some symmetry in this episode. Olivia just got a job. And but I mean, career stuff is always a thing for me, and like has been since I entered the workforce, so it makes sense. I felt like it was taking too long day one, and now I'm 33 and I'm like, why am I not where I want to be? So kind of an open and shut case on the bus.
Yeah, there's
dreams.
like not even much to interpret there. But what is a field trip? That's maybe some additional meaning.
No, I was thinking more so than this would just be a conversation starter.
Well, I've got field trip pulled up.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. To dream of a field trip represents seeing something for yourself. It reflects concerns or interests you have where you are verifying something, requesting information, going out of your way to notice something, or trying something out just to see what happens.
Yeah, that would make sense. Actually, I have another job interview on Friday.
Okay.
Cool.
And it's, it's not the dream job I just got turned down for, but it would be a good job. And so I'm kind of going into this interview with an attitude of like, well, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to be.
Yeah, it's still relevant to like broadcasting and stuff. So I'm going to do the interview, but I'm just like, I'm too burnt out from this last experience to bother being nervous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really do find that to be a good place to be, though. Is like I've gotten in the past really like worked up for interviews and like just been really nervous and like trying to like study and like practice and get my answers to questions like rehearsed. And I always feel like that nervous energy comes through stronger than anything in those interviews where I have practiced my tell me about yourself question. And this most recent time, I don't know why, but I just decided I'm not going to not even a little bit. I'm not even going to think about it. And it was a much better, more pleasant experience for me. Mm-hmm. Like, and I got the job. So like, I don't know. I think that having that attitude going in pays off, albeit I do think that comes from like being emotionally exhausted from like kind of the arduous journey of having tried and having negative experiences. But maybe it's like all uphill from there.
Yeah, I feel like being jaded and feeling dead inside can be mistaken for confidence, which can really work out in your favor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which reminds me of our first date.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought Victor was too cool for school.
Yeah.
Turns out it was yeah. What was your deal?
I was like, so I thought, oh, this is like the hottest, most interesting person that's wanted to date me in a long time. I don't want to
walk out.
Oh, really excited about this. This isn't going to work out. And so I like psyched myself up into rolling into that date, like with what happens attitude.
He seemed way too chill. He seemed like, whatever. He seemed like aloof.
I like accepted that it wasn't going to go anywhere, like right off the bat, and now we're married.
There you go.
Yeah, I think about that sometimes. Of like, if like somehow I had to like go back in time and like win you over again, I feel like I'd be too excited. It'd be a turnoff. You'd be like, oh, this guy's kind of weird, and
like if you knew me, but I didn't know you,
right? Like if I got dropped back into my body in like 2019,
you'd be smiling at me really weird, and I'd be like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah, you'd be like, this guy's a fucking freak. I'm not seeing him again.
Why is he looking at me like that?
Yeah, there's no way I'd be able to play it cool now.
Guy's looking at me like I'm his wife.
The first thing you say is like, in the future we're married.
Come with me. I can take you to my time machine.
But you also like are just a little more reserved with like new people too. So, and I recognize that like looking back at it after having known you for a couple of months, I was like, okay, that all makes more sense now. But yeah, I really thought that he like
You thought he was
you could have
walking
gone
in
either
like,
way. Yeah.
You thought he was walking in like it was his third date that day.
Yes. No, that's exactly what it felt like. It felt like, oh, he just like schedules these like
I was excited for that date, and then it was like the easiest date because I felt like we already had so much to talk about rolling into it. Like we had talked a lot over Bumble or whatever, and I was like, I had like a plan. I went into it with like, we can talk about this. After that, we could talk about this. After that, we can even talk about this. I was just like ready to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do for Friday. I'm just gonna like not over prepare, but just like, I don't know, spend some time on their website and be like, oh yeah, I could talk about this, but I'm not gonna make I mean, for the last one, the dream job, I kind of did the same thing. I didn't make a plan because it's a podcast that I listen to. So like I felt like I knew those guys. I felt like I didn't have to do any preparing. Which is a new, unique kind of like soul crush that I never like experienced before. Getting turned down by like someone you look up to is uniquely devastating. But they were super cool. They seemed to like enjoy the interview. Like I think it went well. I just got beat by a different candidate.
I really think like I was saying this to Victor yesterday. We were talking about this, and it's like I really feel like the problem with that is just that there were gonna be several equally good candidates for that job, and like they probably just had to pick somebody. Like they probably liked and like felt they probably liked you and felt you were competent, and also felt that way about like several people, and just had to choose somebody at a certain point, you know? It's like, then that kind of sucks because it's like it's almost like arbitrary, like you can't do anything about it.
But I really think like if you made it to that point where you've made it through several rounds to like the final round of interviews with a dream job like that, you're going to get a job like that. Like
totally. If
they're like, you have the resume, you have the experience, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. And luck. But I think that's what the bus dream is. It's moving forward, but like being annoyed by all the stops and slowdowns and
for sure.
Not being the one driving, you know.
I feel like I like graduated like shortly after a recession or something. I can't remember. I feel like I came into like a bad job market when I got out of school. And so I still very much have it in my brain of like work being scarce, like good fucking luck finding a job, doing anything, anywhere. Like I know that that's not true. It ebbs and flows, and like supposedly now's a good time to find a job or whatever, but like it's burned into my brain that it's never a good time to find a job. It's always going to be like impossible to find work.
Yeah, and I was just ironically, I was producing or engineering a podcast this past weekend where one of the hosts was talking about, because she was, you know, in a position where she hires people all the time, and she was saying that the power is always in the hands of the employees. It's like employers act cool like Victor on a date, but they actually like are desperate for qualified talent.
Like Victor on a date.
That's you, Olivia. You're qualified talent.
Hell yeah.
You're the big man.
I'm the big man. I'm the horse girl. I'm not the horse girl. I'm the big man, okay?
Thank you for listening to The Young and the Restless.
You can follow us on social media at The Young and the Restless Pod and submit your dreams for interpretation to thejungandtherestlesspod@gmail.com.
And as we always say,
you can't beat a dead horse in the mouth, but you can lead it to water.
You a tiger